First thing that we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to find some good music. Let me just close the doors so I can begin talking normally and so on. Alrighty. So for the background music, what did I play? Usually, what is that? Jazz for Old Miner. Folks up top, Fear Rock Bottom. Okay. Maybe Morning Chill Hop. Lo-fi, Japanese something. Well, let's start with that. There we go. Yo, so during the weekend when I wasn't streaming, I was working a bit on the traps, a bit more. And one of the traps that I worked on, I mean the last trap that I'm working on, is the alarm trap. And what I want to achieve with it is basically that it has a time when its area of alertness expands and it contracts. So if it detects something, the sound should play for a while, and all the neighboring, all of the things that are in vicinity should be notified. So all the creatures a bit further away should notify that somebody's here. So this is what I have currently working on. It's a red radius that slowly expands and shrinks. So your goal would be that you kill it before it starts expanding again, or you shoot it with this. And I believe that everything is working as it should, at least for now. I'm just gonna check out the code because I was coding up and down a bit, playing with tweens and so on. I have to revise if I still remember everything. This one is indicator pad XP. I believe I had an issue that the padding wasn't okay, so we're gonna have to restart it now and just enable the debug collision shape, because this padding, as it was advised, is being calculated by a function that I didn't write actually now. I have to take a look at it, what's going on behind it. Yo, dude! Nice to see you again. Sorry about yesterday, I had to go with my son somewhere. Not gonna specify all the details, but yeah, family business. So it's expanding, but there's a bit of radius that's lagging behind, so that's not okay. And I believe this difference comes from that function regarding the padding and so on. Well, it's working. We're gonna try to tweak it a bit. Five seconds expanded, then it goes back together. So how was your week, dude? Anything funny happened? Did you go on any concerts or something like that? Here we go. Now this should match the shader values used by AOE indicator. Yes, but why am I setting this? Actually no, this is being cached, so I don't actually get stuff from material, because that could be expensive. So we have indicator ring thickness pixels, so that's ring thickness, 2 pixels, that's okay. Indicator soft pixels, I should have 0, because I have 0 here. Then we have indicator breathe amount, 0, breathe speed, that doesn't take in anything into account. Wobble amount, 0.1. And indicator extra padding. Extra padding is something that I could just add in, right? If I take a look at it here. Now if I start it, I saved it. Let's start it up again. Oh, that's cool, that's cool. Always the most exciting part to try something new out. Probably the most frustrating as well. But only up from here. So, glad I just started. Now let's see the padding. Yep, everything is well. So the red is a bit more on the outside, and that's completely okay. So we give it a bit of, how should I say, maneuver. So this works. And when this touches me, the alert should be written in the console, and I believe that it's writing it. So one of the cool things that I've added to the traps is actually the spike trap and other traps can ignore certain, how should I say, factions, certain teams, and so on. So for example, spike traps are ignoring completely the bandits. You find the spike traps in the bandit camps and so on, but they don't get hurt. Ooh. Setting up my monitor mounts, but proud of how it turned out. No, I have way more space. That's awesome. Awesome to hear. How many monitors do you have, dude? I was usually on 3, then suddenly this BenQ 1440, you know, QHD, it died, and now I'm back on 2 full HD, and I think it's enough. Ah, also 3. Good. I mean, maybe because I'm streaming now, it should be a bit more appropriate to have 3, but don't have the budget now for it, so I can wait. But then I was thinking again to myself, maybe I should go with the widescreen one, you know, just one monitor that's a bit curved. Those are becoming very popular, I believe. I know that probably sometimes it looks like caca, you know, if you have a game that is actually downscaled, then you see a lot of black real estate, but that's okay. Aha, 229s. Oh, that's cool. 229s. I believe I only have 27s now. Yeah. So 29, what is this regarding the resolution? Full HD or QHD? Or 4K? Alright, meanwhile you're writing, I'm gonna take a look at this here. So what I can do is I can disable this visible collision shape and take a look at the code. The code is basically tweening some stuff. It sets up indicator materials that duplicates them, then we reset alert cycle state and start alert detection loop. So this detection loop actually, and it's inside the detection loop. What do I do here? Detection loop running. And inside tree. Yes, I'm not being moved anywhere. I await for signal timeout. I await it. This isn't optimized, I believe. Because here I'm setting set alert detection enabled true, that's okay. Indicator visual state. Yeah, we'll fix it a bit later. I'm gonna work on this part then, because it's something I'm not proud of it, but it was wipe coded. And I had everything much cleaner before this mumbo jumbo. So maybe I should only take the parts that I want. On target detected, this is coming from the sensor. Yep. This is all my code. Then the messing up started somewhere here. Setup indicator material, this is duplicating only the stuff, that's okay. Set indicator visual state is 0. So I pass in the radius itself, then I scale the indicator, that's the shader itself being scaled, and the scale of the AOE indicator is also being applied. Just a second. It has to scale with it because I have 1 times 1 pixel. 2K main monitors. That's cool. Cool setup. Now the thing that I'm not happy about is regarding this. This is a while loop and it's running constantly every frame and it's creating a signal. So that's not okay. I think this is pain in the ass. I mean, it's cool and everything. Detection loop running is being broken down when somewhere here has to be a condition that this turns to false. Let's see if I set this one to false here. Here, exit custom tree. Okay, so when we're destroying, then this happens. Otherwise, it's running always. With this create timer, this is expensive. This is very expensive. And disable time, if it's more than 0, do I decrement this somewhere? Yeah, this actually basically happens only if I have disable time wait above 0. Makes sense. So basically it happens when it shrinks together and then I wait for a couple of seconds before I start detection again. Okay, set alert detection enabled. This is true. But I don't like the creation of the timer every frame. 1 second. If I take a look at this here, this while loop and detection and await for that creates timer each frame is a bit expensive. No, but actually, it only takes no, it's not expensive at all because disable time by default is something like 5 or 3. Not expensive. What am I doing? Of course, this is okay. But instead of creating timer, we could be reusing one. So disable time await. If we go up here, I think we have somewhere timer. Let's say private timer, disable timer. What's the name of that? Disable time. Timer, wait, timer. This one. This while loop and wait. Timer each time. This unnecessary. Can add. We can reuse the timer. We can reuse the timer. Let's see what it will spit out. Okay. That's a really good setup, man. Like what you have there. Convenient. So if I take a look what's going on here. Okay, alert detection area. What's going on here? Because this one is creating the timers for all of these states. Or? Yep. That's a shrink phase. No, no, no. Better to write something that I already know. So what are we gonna call? Alert detection timer. Loop timer. This can be reused. We can only have one, no 4 nodes. It's gonna be more performant. So let's add a timer. Timer, here we say alert detection timer. Cooldown timer, I believe, is being used for something else. Or could I reuse it? No, it's for something else. It's regarding the alert, when the alert starts again. So, alert detection timer. Let's see. Alert detection timer. Then here we have this one. This one's gonna be reused in 4 places in that function. Basically it's the same thing, only that it starts with capital 1. But cooldown timer comes here. This is within a while loop. Mini vertical monitor is clutch, super cheap, and works perfect as a Discord task manager, background manager. That's good. I understand you. I understand you, dude. Completely. So, do you wield any special keyboard? Are you also regarding about that? Start detection loop. Yes, this has to happen almost every process frame. That's why we have it. Starts only here. Yeah. Expensive hobby, I agree. I have Keychron. I believe it's the flat one. Yeah, I mean, some of the keyboards are really like cockroaches. You can't destroy them really. So, that's cool. Disable time more. Wait, should stop alert loop. And all this mumbo jumbo that's going on here, I'm not happy about it. Even though that it works, I don't understand it too much. That's why I'm gonna probably refactor it. Go back to the basics. Because if we take a look at it, I just want to see if everything keeps on expanding when the game is paused or not. It's using some threading tasks, and this isn't usually affected by the scene tree in pause. So it's here. Oh, it's working. Oh, it's working. Just the way it's working, I'm not sure. I'm not too happy about it. Okay, now we have this timer alert detection timer. I gotta start using the word refactor more often. Yeah, the red guy is the new mushroom. Basically, the thing about this mushroom is gonna be if you come into its radius, it's gonna alert all the nearby units. And somehow I'm gonna set it that all those units will have attack move to that position where this mushroom is. So, detection radius is gonna be much smaller than the area of effect. So, that's one thing, and bonus on top of it, I want to add the possibility that it will spawn new units if it detects you. So, like a couple of variations, maybe just the difference in the color, so you'll know. The red ones are like this, the blue ones are like that. It's a cheap trick that can be reused. We can have different times, you know, one mushroom can be much faster and so on. The other one can be more slow, so the slower one is going to be probably here in the beginning, in this area. And when you get to the further dungeons, those are going to be a bit trickier and they're going to be pain in the butt. And yeah, I want them to trigger only if you or your companion get into it. So yeah, regarding wording, so I have alert loop timer. This one's going to be used here. Alert loop timer, let's keep it like that. And I'm reusing this stuff. Shouldn't be creating the new timer every time. So this part here is bothering me. What would be the syntax? So I would say, for example, alert loop timer, wait time would be disable wait time. That's the first thing, and then I would say start. Right, and then I would say I await the signal on this one, timeout. That would be basically the thing we are awaiting. Now these are the three lines that are gonna be used a lot of times here. So I'm gonna use it here, here. No, actually only 2 times. Do I have create timer somewhere else? Only here. No need for function. No need to over-engineer it too much. But what we do is we just take this expand time and that's kind of it. We're reusing the same timer. What are we awaiting here? Run expand phase. So system threading task. Expand time, it takes the bigger one from the do specified. If duration is less than equal, okay, it just returns. It kills twins, all good, no problems. But this timer is now being reused, and let's see. Let's That's one thing. Let's hope for no errors, and then we start adding the command function, which command gets triggered for all the units in the area. Otherwise, some progress has been made on the capsule art. It's still work in progress. I'm still lobbying for a new face. He still has to do a lot of stuff on the logo, but he just showcased me this a bit on the side. He didn't finish shading or anything, but the monsters will come here. So these are the lizard people. They're still not in the game, and some bandits here, golems, rats, and the face is gonna be replaced. I made a small modifications regarding the face. I'm gonna show it to you soon. I believe I sent him the new face somewhere. Yes, this is the face I want to go with. See? A bit friendlier, not as hamstery. I mean, he would color them and everything, he would color the face, but this face that I'm looking here is a bit too much hamster-like, if I make any sense. So yeah, opinions welcome. I'm also happy, yeah, that it's really a weird perspective when you see the old capsule art towards the new one, because my old one was in much better memory. I was quite proud of it because I worked hard on it, I have to admit, but you know, I can't match the artist. Maybe that's gonna be a hobby that I'm gonna have to pick up, paintings and so on. Okay, now this is expanding. Let's see if the cycles are working okay. I just want to see the debugger, if something's gonna be spit at us. What do you think about the ring? I think the ring is good. It's wobbly just a tiny bit. It's not too much wobbly. When it's gonna expand, you're gonna see it wobbles a little bit. Wobble, 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 wobble. Maybe I should add a bit more, and then it shrinks back. So this is the green time. You go and destroy this thing. Is anything broken? I believe not. So, okay. Now we have this function that's a semi-Frankenstein. But what I'm gonna add is so we have alert detection cycle, visual indicator shader layout. Okay, that's okay. That's in the subgroup, but I would like to say, oh, I'm not sure if I hear somebody. Honey Bunny's home today. Probably she's gonna come home. She went shopping. Let's say this one's gonna be unit related. So we're gonna have export, and we're gonna say public. I think I can have a weighted list here. Maybe units to spawn. Units to spawn. I have spawn system actually here. And I can have a spawn component, and I don't have to mess with this anymore then. So, what we're gonna do, actually, we're gonna say, if I have base component here and trap spawn, no, I don't have them anywhere, but because this is a spawner trap, alert trap, we can add something like, well, these are the components. Protected. Spawn is component, right? Base component, of course it is. Spawn. Now we have to wire this in, because here I have all the logic. Also regarding the indicators and so on. And I had a spawn trap. Huh. If I already have this here, and I'm using the outline queue components and so on, I'm thinking about maybe just expanding this from spawn trap. Because it's something that we can actually... That's the second spawn triggered. When it triggers, it... It has spawn. So we wouldn't need that anymore. But we would need a command. So the command would be command resource something. Command unit command resource, and we would call it command to starting command for units for spawned units. And of course, now we can keep it simple. I have an extra boolean that checks if we've toggled this on, and then we execute the logic, or we just check if it's null. But that means that then I have to delete the command and so on. So if I'm gonna be debugging stuff, we can make it more usable by having a flag assign starting commands, command to units, to spawned units. And in alert, what we do here actually, we're gonna have to take in the sensor component that we have, check all the units it has, and the units that are actually matching the filter, and then based on that assign the command to them. Okay. I can no, I'm gonna keep it in because it's still in the debugging phase. Set area detection enabled deferred. So this is only gonna happen next frame. So I'm gonna have to defer also the call regarding getting the units in the area. On target detected. Okay. Void assign commands to nearby nearby units. That's gonna be 1. And the first one's gonna be void spawn units. And this one's gonna be conditional. Thanks, dude. Thanks for staying in the chat. Means a lot. Have a good rest, buddy. See you next time. So spawn units, assign commands to nearby units. And this one's gonna just have a condition if is instance valid spawn false. And then we say, or maybe this one. What do we have in spawn? Do I have a condition check? Can spawn? That's only one condition check inside entity that's being destroyed, so no. Do spawn, this is a function that happens on tick. I'm not gonna be ticking this anytime. Salute! So no ticking this, that's okay. But. I would just then trigger this on spawn tick. Manually. Because this one here actually starts the pre-spawn started signal. And this is just the do spawn. This one doesn't emit the appropriate signals themselves. So I shouldn't bypass this tick. Because this one checks all the things. So this naming is a bit off. I know that it happens on tick, but. This could be extracted. Oh, just a second. I have to close the doors, be right back. Hello. So this one definitely could be extracted like private bool. Can spawn. And I believe this can be clamped into here. But this has to be inverted, the conditions. So I'm just gonna do this. Or I believe that's okay. So if active entities is more than max or equal to, it returns true, and in that case it returns true, but I'm reverting it, it should be okay. for this readability here. So if can spawn equals to false, I do this, but this on spawn tick. Yeah, for now, let's leave it like that. Naming is gonna come in handy a bit later. So. I think I have somewhere now alert component, no, spawn component. Basically this check already happens in here. So I can go spawn on tick. For now. And this is gonna happen. Right, I use it this in this way. I do. String name. Yep. And I don't pass in anything. And this one has spawn units. We'll see. This on spawn tick doesn't return me anything, that's the problem. What should I do with you? This is also empty, and when I go to the spawn function, I'm adding stuff here. And then I'm adding it to tracked entities. So tracked entities is basically where I have the referenced units when I spawn them. That's not bad. This happens here. And then I would say from the spawn itself, tracked entities. What did I have by default? Just a new list node, yes. Private set, public get. No, public get, private set. setter is first, right? Private set. What's the syntax? I'm doing some weird mumbo jumbo. The accessibility modifier of spawn tracked entities get accessor must be more restrictive than the property of indexer. What? Okay. So if this is not written anything here, wait a second, I just want to see something. Yeah, basically okay. That's okay. I don't specify public anywhere, I just specify that it's private regarding the setter. One of the problems in the list is that you can also push something in it, even though if it has a private setter. But okay, I'm never gonna use it that way. I hope so. I'd be slapping myself too hard. So, assign commands to nearby units. We could just simply say that for each spawn tracked entity, and that's a node. If is instance valid, let's call it node equals to false, or node is not unit, we go past it, and then what we do here, we're just gonna say, I think that unit is now available outside of that scope up there. Yep. And everything that has been spawned will get assigned a new command. So how do I assign the commands? Just a second. I believe that unit commands were always used only for the companions. So I kind of have to recall or modify it, how it's gonna be assigned for other units. But this makes cool spawners, you know. For example, if I have a director in the level, you know, that something's going on, you want to spawn some units, by default the units would be walking around randomly, and that wouldn't be very much okay. I mean, depending on the circumstance you want, but sometimes it's cool if you spawn the units that you send them in certain direction. And I was thinking about that. Yeah, I'm gonna reuse the command system that I have. I could even set the patrols in that way if I have a command system set up like that. I mean, I already do, but I only assign the commands to the companions. And now, because companion is a unit, a normal unit, and the enemy is a normal unit, this should be quite easy to upgrade. So what do we say? If it's instance valid node equals to false, or if it's not a unit, we continue. That's okay. Now I want to see command system. Do I have command system? No, I have command resource something. Item or command item. Unit command item effect resource. This is where I custom apply item effect to targets. I pass in the basic values, and then all the mumbo jumbo stuff happens, but this is where it's getting filtered also out. If this unit is a companion and so on, then it's ignored, so I'm not gonna use this one. But underlying thing, what I'm doing is I'm actually duplicating the unit command, and I assign this command to what? I have a unit command controller and I issue a command to target, so that's a unit. And this is a commander, I believe, right? Commander unit, yes. Alright, then if I take a look at this part here is the most important one. We're gonna extract it for now. Oh, just a second. Dog is barking. Yeah, always distractions. So what I'm doing here is I'm duplicating this assigned command because I'm setting some properties that the things shouldn't be shared between the units, at least not everyone. But we're gonna have this command up here. Do I use this check anywhere? Not yet. Let's say I have assign command. If it's false, don't do anything. But you are gonna be command something. Assign starting command. Naming is fucked up. This one. Or this is no safety first. And now this is being duplicated as a unit command resource, and then I do all mumbo jumbo stuff that's not gonna be so necessary regarding the active mouse and keyboard. We just have to say that the target position is gonna be a global position of this thing, of the alert trap, for now. I can just remove this down there, and if I go a bit further, we have global here available. Level controller currently loaded, level unit command controller issue a command. So I issue a command to the unit, but commander is optional, so I don't really care. Let's see, unit command controller. Because commander is optional, it doesn't really matter. Issue command comes in here, and if we're gonna have attack, move, unit command, issue command is this one here and this one here. Ah, now I have a problem. If its instance valid, commander unit falls. This isn't gonna come here. And now, again, Honey Bunny came home. Give me a 5 or 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Just a second. Okay. Hopefully back for good this time. For at least 20 minutes, something like that. Yeah, so issue command custom, I pass in the unit commander, which can be null, but if instance isn't valid, I return. That's regarding the commander unit. But why do I even have to check this here? I believe I can just completely omit this condition. Just a second. Because it's not being used anywhere. It's not being passed in or used anywhere else. Set command indicator, that's target unit and target position. Maybe here I could say if it's a companion it should be invisible. But for now, let's just keep it on, so we're gonna see if it's working or not. So okay. Here what we do is then we duplicate this, we assigned the target position, that's okay. And then we issue a command. Let's assign commands to nearby units. So this is being for all the tracked entities we have. But. Big but. Then we also have to take into account the units that we have for that were already around this area somewhere and that they weren't spawned. Now just a second. Private issue assign command. Difference that we're gonna make here, it's void, and thing that's getting in here is gonna be unit. So we can just call this function here. Where you at? And then we call it here. And we pass in the unit itself. So far so good. Now let me see the structure of the alert trap. We have a sensor component which takes in the alert sound area 2D thingies. This is basically sensing stuff from there. But just a second, it's spawn trap, right? So spawn is missing. I don't have a spawn component yet. So this could explode. Spawn there, trap something. Spawn component. Alert trap gets this. So we're not gonna have any errors. This is basically just specifying where the units are gonna spawn if we're spawning them anywhere. Let's put it up a bit. -10. Actually, it's okay. No need for complications. And that's okay here, but... And it's been unique. That's okay. Also, spawn interval 0. Repeat spawning off for now. Max entities. Okay, this is gonna spawn probably the slimes for now. And... I know that this is taking in account the positions that are here. Spawn selection time, random, no repeat. That's okay. But this should be up, not within this subgroup. Okay, let's fix this one before I forget. Spawn. And where are you? Export group. This one is weird. Why did I put you down here? You should be a bit more above. Like this. So for now the problem is that if I spawn it around here, that's kind of a cheap thingy. It's not as dangerous, but I would like the creatures to be spawned within a radius more around. I have a function for that somewhere that even detects if there's a obstacle in the way. So the spawner itself is gonna have to be modified a bit. Yeah, it's a heavy component already. We'll see how it will be modified, but okay, for now. If we assign commands to nearby units in the spawn and command function, then we iterate over the spawned units if they have been spawned, if it makes sense. But we should also iterate over not spawn, but sensor component. And for now we have detectable something. Just a second. Really have to take a look at the properties that we're modifying here. Target added, no, these are the signals that are being subscribed on and so on. This one. Not enemies, but all the units, and then we have additional checks. Because the sensor is filtering some of the nodes in certain ways, which is okay, but I want to have additional custom checks on them. So this is node again. I believe I can use the same name here. And here we basically take a look at this thingy in here. The more I think about it, the more I see that this is probably unnecessary, this condition up here, because everything's gonna come from sensor component. So what I can do is just take this one and assign the unit command here. But, big but, this one here, and then we're gonna add additional check, or if unit is companion, no, unit data, companion, this is gonna be ignored, or unit AI equals to false. If it's a player, don't issue any command, we don't need command for that. And then we do it, we assign this command. So if I'm not mistaken, the tracked entities are gonna be picked up by the sensor itself. So no need for that. And now, if we go a bit further to assign commands to nearby units, it's being triggered here. This is being... Because spawn, just a second. Spawn tech. It's showing the queue and everything, so this isn't gonna give the command to spawn units correctly, because this timeout can be like 0 point something seconds. So nothing's gonna be detected, because when we call this function, nothing is spawned yet. Nothing is being spawned yet, this is just being triggered. I mean, I can just simply say I wait for a certain amount of time plus 0.1 second that you're being added, and that's it. Simple, easy peasy. Huh? But do I await in spawner? I do somewhere, right? Because do spawn, spawns unit. The more I look at this, the more I see that the problem is that I don't actually await stuff, or... No, actually this is the awaiting part. Spawn timer. This is usually a small amount. Spawn component, spawn interval. The thing that's going on here. This is the wait time, of course, and then it's being spawned. So if I would be spawning like 10 units and I have spawn interval of 0 point something, that's all the await time that has to be awaited before I issue a command. Okay, changing the music to something. The spawner is working as it should. It's being used for all sorts of different cases, but this one here is not gonna be good. An alert trap. This function is okay. And the sign command is okay, I'm sure of it. Now spawn units. The spawn command no, I can go the more primitive way, a simpler way. Just to test it out, and probably then under the cover of that it stays in permanently. What's the syntax? Await, no, await, create timer, no, create something, get tree, blah blah blah, get tree, create timer. Always forget about the syntax. I should probably have a utility function for timer creation like this. Timer, no. Anyway, this thingy here, blah blah blah, and we say that we await for 2 seconds for now, and then we assign the thing that we want to assign. And before we run it, I just want to see if this happens or this happens, what gets detected, and so on. And this one. And if we go to the debug thing, base component, no need to track you for now. No expression like that. Health system item, no. Current controller, no. Loot, player HUD, no. Alrighty, then let's see how much do we explode, but before we mess it up even more, we have spawn component, which has this, which has weighted list. It should be spawning slimes, but it should be spawning only once we trigger alert. Amount, team 2, max active entities, let's say 5 before it stops spawning anything. So that's okay. Then we assign commands to nearby units. This is basically a bigger radius than this one here. So if something's iffy, of course. Not all the units have the ability to listen to commands. I only add those commands to companions for now. But I should share some base commands also with these, like normal mobs and so on. And if I'm not mistaken, I have config resource, and this is where I have default something. Default companions, default actions. And we're gonna have this one. We're gonna call it mobs. And wherever I'm assigning this, I'm gonna go here and do the same mumbo jumbo. If it's not a companion. Let's say else. So if it's a companion, that's okay, but else taking this out, climbing it in here. Okay, this is the same one, the count. Then we have load common companion actions if companion equals to false. Okay, this is not what we want here, because this is only for the units. But should I have for the units also some kind of a flag? I believe I don't need them yet. I believe I don't need them yet. Flags for that. But we're gonna rename it. Mob. Okay. The condition could be checked here. unit data resource is companion equals to false. That's okay, because everything, maybe there should be a boss flag. The boss shouldn't be affected by command. Should it? We'll see. Baby steps first. So mob default actions that we have here are gonna be duplicated and added to the AI brain that we have. So this condition check is not needed here. For now we can keep it simple, like else. Like this. Oh! Else if... And of course, as a player we also get our AI brain nuked, so we don't have this component anymore then. But for now, mob default action, this is here. And if we want to see more of the behavior, I want to enable the debugging of AI brain here at all units. This is gonna make the scene a bit populated, but that's okay. So if this is here now, the thing I wanted to add, config dot this is growing well, but still got a lot of things to do in here. Okay. So these are companions default actions, and here is attack action. Go there, attack move. I'm taking this one, copying it, and applying it to mob itself. So I'm duplicating it, and this one has a highest priority. Priority 1000. If it gets assigned, if it's detecting a command, that's what it's doing. And am I detecting? Yes, behavior is basically the same. Good, I'm saving it now. And before we start, I also want to add to the alarm let's add sound indicator. And somewhere here I have an enum where I export all the sounds. Sound effect type. Or where are you? Of course. I don't have alarm yet anywhere, but I can add it. Explosion and impact, falling in pit. Let's say alarm is gonna be now 9000. So far so good. Let's say by default. We could have different alarm types. That's why I'm exposing this variable here. And basically the radius of this thing, how loud it's gonna be, is gonna be the same radius as the sound something. Alert sound area. So trigger alert. Blah blah blah. Global sound controller play SFX sound effect type. No. Alarm alert sound area 2D. And the global position is going to be global position of where we are. Tiny problem. tiny problem. I can't specify what kind of radius it should be. This one goes here. Now we're gonna be able to hear this one because the radius of the sound effect comes from the config, from the resource files. So that's a bit different. And I believe I didn't create a function that actually modifies the radius of this. We'll see. Oh. So if I go to sound controller, play SFX, radius, max distance, sound resource range. What we can do is, son of a. If I have specified float range, if range isn't final range, float, final range, if range isn't 0f, final range equals to range. Or else I could basically say this. I could say this, just a second. Is this the syntax? No, it isn't. Never mind. But I can pass in the final range. And here I could say if it's not 0. Not 0f. Come on. 0f. I just say if it's not 0f, I say to it, then it's range. Else it's from the sound resource itself. Now this should give me the possibility to override the range of the noise, how far it should be heard. Makes sense that the alert trap kind of can't override this based on its radius, how far the sound goes. Makes it more realistic. Yes. I think so. I believe so. It should be good. But we'll see when we test it out. So this play SFX sound to play comes to global position. Its origin is gonna be there, but then we have to pass in sound area something. Sound area. We have shape here. What's that? Collision. 1 second. Alert sound area. Alert trap. I'm gonna need the reference to this thing here. Private, and this is a collision 2D, right? Collider 2D. Collider shape. No. Collision shape 2D. blah blah blah. And here I put you to work. Get no T 2D. Collider shape. No, oh my god, collision shape. 2D. And you go. You need, of course, the sign. That's okay. And now if I go to play SFX, I take you, I can cast you into circle, shape 2D, and I can read your radius. Come on. Wait up. Not shape. There you go. Okay, so far so good. Alright, now how should I test you appropriately? So this thing should be spawning things around itself, and it should be assigning like values. For now I'm gonna just spread it out for, you know what, let's leave it default like this. And if I go to the test level, I can make the editable child and specifying its spawn positions a bit differently. And yeah, but the problem is gonna be that the slimes, wherever they're gonna spawn, they're gonna start attacking everything. But still, their command should be assigned somewhere more to middle, towards the center of the spot, the center of the trap. Put it here, and here. Gonna save it. Let's see the explosion happen. It's gonna be bad. I'm sure of it. A lot of modifications, but maybe somebody's smiling at us today from up above. Doubt it, but never gonna give it zero chance. Okay, it started to spawn it, so that's bad. Spawn the first one. And it has a cooldown of 7 seconds around, something like that. What about now? Nothing happened. As expected, it's pretty much broken. Okay, first thing first. Let's see if the slime has a different behavior assigned when it spawns. Okay, obey attack move. So it has. It has slime skin and obey attack move. Everybody has obey attack move. That's good. But now, here we have the first problem. Object reference. Alright, if we go to alert trap, we don't have outline component. So I take this one, copy it, paste it in. Spawn component needs an outline component. No, this one needs one, right? Oh, and I'm not having any commands here as well. Looky, looky. That's good. This has to be set first. First issue. Show queue. the Q component is being picked up by what? Spawn trap. Q component. Outline Q component. So the trap itself tries to get a Q component. That's okay. Now, 2 errors should disappear. First thing first, and I said that I have to trigger run through Visual Studio Code, so we're gonna have more breaking points here. Being triggered. Okay, first one spawned. And nothing triggered on a breakpoint. Now, why is that? Why you no trigger? Why, comrade? Spawn command, trigger alert. You no trigger. On target detected 2D. Okay, first fail tested, go here, unit. We saw that the command is being assigned to the brain itself correctly because it's a default command. So first thing, I can disable that, so it's not gonna bother me. Other thing I can do is I can enable visual collision shapes and see if something is disabled by any chances when it's expanding or not. It's gonna start expanding, come on, it's going up, so this inflation is working okay. This is not bothering me anymore. So far so good, but this on target detected. This doesn't do a shit. If I set the breakpoint here, it should break somewhere here. If not, we have the problem with the sensor component. Sensor component. Alert trap. We have area 2D, area that's regarded to the sound area, that's okay. These default components should be okay. But it's like it doesn't trigger at all. I subscribe to Event Custom. I unsubscribe from it. Huh. Unsubscribe from events, happens here. But we don't move it or re-add it anywhere here yet. Huh. Does this get triggered? No. It's like it's not being even called. Do I have any errors? Looky. On pre-spawn started. Object reference not set to an object. Ready custom. Alert trap. Why do I override you? I mean, why do I redeclare you here? You're coming from the spawn trap now. It shouldn't be working like that. Base ready custom gets called, so this is probably this one. The reference happens. Let's try it again. Rinse and repeat. Oh no, I blocked the music. Still nothing happened. Base ready custom gets called. And in the trap itself. Yup, the spawn component gets called correctly, so the reference is there. Now subscribe to events custom should be called as well. It gets called. So this means that I connect everything on pre-spawn and so on. Spawn is not null. It's a node, so that's okay. So everything through here works. But here what happens? Don't I get the reference to this one? Oh shit. I'm not sure if I call base here, of course. Or... yes, then all the references from here are nothing. I have to do that. That could be the first issue for the problem. What else do I have? And the trap itself. Okay. So far so good. That's what happens when you're inheriting things a couple of times. Maybe not the smartest thing, but I thought that the spawn trap basically, I mean alert trap basically is the spawn trap if I spawn things from it. Now this gets cold. This gets cold. This one. The subscriptions are happening. On target detected gets cold as well. And trigger alert already happened here in the beginning. So that's okay. Then I call the third command. Sorry, I have the screen on the other side. I'm debugging. And then I start to spawn the units. So this is working now. But on spawn the units, nothing happened yet. Now it's assigning commands to nearby units. So maybe we should see an icon above the slime. Okay. And it's issuing a command. Everything has a command now. Yes, they all go towards here. See? That's good, but they try to get too close. Maybe I should add some random distance, safe distance from it. And it's spawning units again. And it's issuing command. That's okay. So the commands are added. I just want to see if Bryn still gets the icon toggled okay and so on. Hey, old geezer is coming as well. Yeah, they get their commands, alright. But what should I do here? I should probably also make it ignore some of the enemies or faction types or team. That's okay. Maybe the tank indicator is okay, so it says that they have like a command. But first thing first, Lilith, for example, wants to get really close to the flower before she satisfies her command. But no, actually the command is not being executed anymore. She just can't get any closer. Same goes for the old guys and everybody. Mosh pit, okay. Yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna play just through the normal ones. Kinda find it easier to read the errors from Godot itself than from Visual Studio. I should be coloring my output a bit differently. That would make it easier for me. Okay, so the debugger. So far so good. Yeah, now the second time that this happens, something's wrong. But I know this busy adding removing children. Can we call this time? Puh. Unit command resource 107. What's with you? Unit command resource 107. Indicator, command indicator. Why do I have you here? I'm reusing the commands, okay. The indicators themselves, that's not bad, but parent node is busy adding removing children. So that's in pool controller. 195. I had this as deferred call, but I know that this was messing my stuff from time to time. It was affecting something, I can't remember. Again, made parent node removal of the node sync and not deferred. I didn't explain why did I make this. Idiot. Why did I do this? What was exploding back then? Because I had deferred this. It's the things like this that I hate about myself. A couple of more sentences and I'd be a happy person, but now if I'm uncommenting this, I know that the other things can break as well. And if I'm reusing the deferred call, all devices move. And this function is quite important, I'd say. And guess who died? Okay. Rinse and repeat. Now what's gonna happen when the children are getting at it? Nothing bad yet for now. And I know that there was some problems with the shrapnel or something. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a safe area here regarding the commands. So there should be a radius around where the positions are free to which they have to come, and it's gonna be a bit randomly offset. The commands are working, the errors are gone, but I'm sure that if I add player, add item, shrapnel shot rune 1, it was regarding, I believe it was something regarding to this. 189, what happened? Oh no, that's about the console. I don't care about this error. Okay, we have the shrapnel shot room. Anna is with us. Okay. Right. Hey, triple jump. It's going well. I'm still working on the traps. How's Atomcraft going? That's the name of your game, right? So, what's going on? I've made some traps for the game, and one of the traps that I'm currently working on is basically a trap that's gonna alert all the enemies nearby. It looks like a red mushroom, and it's, yeah, basically it has a red thingy that expands its radius, and if something is in it, in the radius, which is expanding or shrinking at the time, it spawns new enemies. I mean, not only that it spawns them, but it calls from a much larger area more creatures towards it. And now what I'm looking at is basically if I broke something, because I changed how things are being re-added to the pool itself. If they're... yeah, this one is the problem, I believe. If they're being called as deferred or not, and now I'm calling them as deferred. Before that I didn't have them. And depending on the type of the call, I get different errors, so that's one thing that's kind of bothering me. And now I want to see if this is really being triggered by the shrapnels themselves or by something else. If I see this, I have 3 errors for now. But if I shoot you... oh, it didn't trigger. F. Wait a second. Gotta recharge my fury. Do I have enough fury to trigger this one? Not yet. What about now? A couple of more shots. Wait a second. We have only 3 errors, and now shrapnel shot will happen. Yep. 3 more freaking errors. And because I changed this one to call deferred. That apparent isn't this is true. What are you telling me? And this is coming from remove child. Maybe I should add in safely remove child or something. This is parent node. Yeah, we'll have to debug this one a bit. So yeah, thank you for the raid, dude. Back to it. So I'm gonna show the trap. If we go here, back to the main menu, this is the current trap that I'm working on. Basically the red thing, and it issues the attack command to all the nearby units. And then it slowly expands, and it slowly shrinks again. And it disables here. So the player's main objective will be to destroy it before it starts to expand. And it's a trap system that's gonna be reused through more different biomes. You know, for example, red one is gonna be maybe in the forest. If you get to it, it's gonna spawn like 3 slimes, something like that. But in a radius. I want the slimes and the mobs to spawn in a certain radius. And then I issue the attack move command to them. So it's not just you spawn them here and you swing blindly and destroy everything that's being spawned. And on top of that, there's a bigger radius and the scene itself. If I go here to the dome, this radius out here. Now all of the mobs that are walking on the surface of the overworld are also gonna be pulled in. Now one of the things that we also have to add is the alert sound. And I wonder what kind of sound should that be. Sound config, because it looks a bit more organic, it's not a mechanical thing. That's one thing. So if anybody has a good idea how alert for organic things should sound, more than welcome to give it to me. So we have this, and if I have a sound library, I should find something in the file system itself. Files. Let's see, do I have something regarding the alert? Looking through the downloads. Alarm. But there are some jingles and so on. But that's futuristic. Oh no. No. Old terminal or alarm? No, this isn't gonna work. Maybe this, but this is really futuristic, right? If we take a listen at it. Now I have a problem of finding that correct sound. Yeah, rhythmic alarms, what is that? Sounds, horror, suspense, horror. But this is more like a background soundtrack. Okay. Nothing else. Yo, do you guys recommend any libraries? If somebody's a game developer, more than open to suggestions. But okay, maybe we're gonna use a placeholder. I'm gonna try to look for creature sound. No, not the growl, maybe. No. Oh, that's very sinister. It drives chills down my spine. Yeah. What about this one? No. Not really. Oh. How should I Google plant sounds? Because it's a plant. That just sounds wrong. It's something a stoner would look up, I believe. Plant sound. No. Flora? No. Nothing really. Nothing really coming up. If I take a look at our sound library that we use here already, maybe I have just something that could be used as a placeholder, but that it wouldn't be so off. But what could it be? Not an attack. Attacks are a bit weird for that, or spell wind. Oh, it's a spell sound. And it's loud. That's one thing. Spell aqua. Finishers, impacts, loops. No movement. Projectiles. Not really. Horn. Well, it does the job, but... Could a plant produce this? I'm not sure. This is Magic Portal. I used it more frequently in runes. Level up, definitely not. Heart beating is when you're low on health. Swings, also not. Items, no. Drop item, XP, nothing. Crafting, extraction beat, what is that? Aha, this is the thumping. I use it in the dungeon itself. What about... No. I mean, if I find one interesting sound, I can repeat it a couple of times in Audacity and reuse it. What is that? Ah. Well, it sounds organic. And the animation will play definitely with this little flower. I have a simple animation, and if I hear myself that it repeats a couple of times, like, it looks a bit more organic. Okay. Now, where do I have you? Open file traps. We have tall mushroom, spore, gas, spikes, shooter, purple, egg, mushroom. No, no. I'm looking for the red one. Yeller trap, of course. And if this is on repeat, this looks like this. And then we add sound to it. Something like that. Let's try it out. I'm gonna look at it on the left side and spam it a couple of times. Maybe a bit higher one? No. Hit very low. Nah. This one, Squelch 5, was okay. This one. So, I didn't play a lot with sounds yet. I mean, at least not with editing them. But if we take a look in the file system, actually, tenacity. This one. And if I go to files, to the Lens of Fury project, audio, and this is under what? This is under impacts, SFX, impacts, and punch squelch 5. Can I drag and drop you? Just a second. Alrighty, now let's see if we repeat it. Kind of okay, but I know that I can apply some effects to it. As I'm saying, guys, I didn't play a lot with these configurations yet and effects here, but I know that noise reduction, not noise reduction, something else was. There was a thing that, loudness normalization, maybe this one, -10. That's good. And the fade out is already being applied here. So that's okay. And I'm gonna export this one and call it, let's say that's not in UI, it's in audio, SFX. We're gonna make a new folder, call it alarms, even though it's not an alarm. Plant alert for now. Okay. And now if I go to sound config, here I believe I've added the last one as an alert. No, footstep metal is empty. Boomerang is empty. I have alert somewhere, don't I? I guess not. Going back here, down here, alarm. Alarm's the name, and we're gonna add the value. And first we have to modify it, so plant alert. We pitch randomness a bit, that's okay, and range is gonna be overridden by that, and let's say 20 is gonna be the limit of this sound, how many times it can repeat or play at once. And now in alert trap, we can assign the correct sound to it. Sound indicator, alarm, that's okay. But I want to see if it's wired up correctly. Huh. This is being animated through animated sprite. And I wanted it to be repeated a couple of times. So first we also have to play the alert animation. Once we're sounding an alarm. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna put the background music on. In here we have alert, trap, and indicator. Should have also export, public string name, animation to play on alarm. By default, we're gonna say That animated sprite has alert. Alert. Now, when we trigger alert, animated sprite, now animated sprite 2D, play this one. But that's gonna trigger only once for now. It triggers only once, right? Because I hit play here, then this trigger alert is gonna happen. Enable deferred, spawn and command. And then here, after this is being done, I should also stop. Play. Default SN, trap or spawner, private static is protected, and I can put it in the trap itself, because the animation component is also from here. So this is actually just reusing the string name, because in C# they are expensive. So that's one thing. We trigger play, we wait for a couple of seconds, meanwhile this thing happens, but the problem is that alert sound gets played only once. And this waits for 2 seconds before everything happens with a command. Now either I could organically make it play like 2 seconds, just make the clip a bit longer, but this It would be cool if I could pass in how many times it should play it. Like, I have play SFX, I pass in the sound to play, position, range. What if I could pass in times, like a loop? Or integer? Should I put this in? Sound controller. It could come in handy in some cases. Handler. No, then I have to listen to when it finishes and so on. Also complicates the things a bit more. Da, 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 da. Okay, baby steps. First we want to see if it's gonna play anything. If anything's gonna play at all, and if the animation happens. Because this spawns and it gets triggered immediately, I believe we're gonna have a problem. That we're not gonna see anything. It's gonna play it only once. And the fade in won't happen yet. Okay, muting it a bit. Okay. I heard that play. It happened. And the command got issued. Now it should happen every time. Yeah, it happened again. But the play sound happens a bit too soon. I mean, it's not in sync when the command gets issued, and that's because I placed it before this await happens. Right, just a second. Of course, trigger alert. Spawning command. This should actually happen here. One second. The command itself is not good because I spawn the units, but command gets assigned after 2 seconds. Okay, all the functionality okay. But do I want the sound to play when the command is assigned? When I see that they have attack move? Not sure. Probably not. Probably it was okay when I spawned them here. But. I have an issue because I'm testing this in the camp and I have a lot of surrounding units. That's one problem. I have an issue that all the NPCs trigger this. So that's a bummer. Now either I move this trap away and I test it somewhere else, which I could do. I could try to use the old teleporter that I used back in the day in the test level, which is basically the camp. Do I have a teleporter here? Teleporter to room. No, I just need a normal one. This one. And I'm gonna move it out a bit. So we're gonna have the appropriate way of testing this little creature alert trap. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say the teleporter has a destination node, which is which one? If I edit the children, destination is here. I'm gonna put it here. So it's out of the range for now. And I hope it's gonna work because this teleporter hasn't been used for a while. Meanwhile, I've created a lot of different triggers and teleporters to rooms, to arena rooms and so on. So maybe something broke here. We'll see. Even the boundaries maybe have been readjusted for the test level. Alright. I go here, I press E. Okay, it worked. It spawned something. It's given a command to something. Maybe I should disable spawn for now. It becomes lower, and then when it gets me, or this creature, I don't hear anything. Only the slime is being annoying. No errors. But. Big but. Alert cooldown 10 seconds. Alert detection cycle. Shrink time 5. Disable time wait 3. Expand time 5. Expand time wait. I should set this also to be a bit smaller. Animation to play on alarm. Alert. Is the alert the animated sprite? It is. It should be playing. But it's not. It's not repeating itself. The shading stuff doesn't do anything wrong. Show queue should happen. I have queue in it. Yes, I do. Huh. It's like it's not detecting anything anymore. Come on, thingy. Okay, let's go to alert trap, and for now I'm gonna set it just to 0. Don't do a single thing. And let's restart. Here we go. Okay, not... It's animating something. It animated it for a while, short while. That was good. It's coming back. 1, 2, 3. Expand, good. 1, 2, 3. And it's not detecting me. Is the collision working? It should be. Alert sound area 2. Breaking point here. Okay. Trigger alert. Why do you trigger alert? On target detected. Who are you detecting? So learned armed equals false. It's gonna cancel it. If the sensor component isn't valid, it's gonna cancel it. If detectable node type enemy. Huh. One second. I didn't even touch it, right? So alert trap is this, and I have a sensor component which is connected to alert sound area. That's not okay. It should be connected to alert detection area. Because if something comes within the detection area, which is smaller, I believe. Is it smaller? Yep. Then I trigger the alert, which should take all the units that are in the alert sound area and get everything from there. Right. Trigger alert, trigger alert. So if it's not a unit, it's also returning. But this one is bothering me. Sensor component valid targets by node types. Enemies. Why do I have an enemy check even in here? Because I have should be ignored condition in here. And this is where I specified the things. So that's an old sin here. First thing first, at least I believe so. So I'm removing that one. If it's not a unit, it should be returned, and this function can be also placed up there. Don't need a second if statement for that. Okay. Now let's restart it. Okay. Yep, now it's triggered right at the place where I wanted it to trigger. It played the sound and it should shrink again soon. And now in about 10 seconds or something like that, it should be retriggerable. Triggered again. Okay, so the main logic fault was fixed. Now one thing we can add for testing this is basically I'm gonna wall this whole thing down and I'm gonna make a spawner for the units that are gonna spawn somewhere far here. And just for the fun part, I'm gonna make this like super huge, like 2 or 368. And I'm gonna say that a spawner, well actually this one is the core one. The spawner from test level, if we're gonna use it. This is the destination, I have to be out of it. Or no, not really. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wall us in. So the units won't run off. So if we have a tile map, wall, nothing pretty to do here. I'm just gonna check the terrain, grass wall, and circle us. So we have basically more chances that the slimes that are gonna spawn in are gonna stay here. And in here I'm gonna say we have a spawner somewhere. Spawn 2, spawn. Yeah, let's take the bandit one now. Duplicating it, just moving it here. And it's gonna be spawning like 3 bandits. Team 2. That's it. Nothing special about it. But alert trap, it should have a condition that it's gonna ignore something. Like alert trap. So these bandits shouldn't trigger the alert itself. I'm gonna say factions to ignore. Bandits. We don't trigger it, but we call them. That's the logic that I'm going for. Now let's see if this is gonna work. Let me just check spawn 3 one more time. Bandit 3 times. Initial delay 0.1. That's okay. So, if I come here, get into the radius, to the red thingy, then the bandits should spawn already, and they should be following me if the sound plays. Okay, so far so good. Okay, the sound played, something happened, nothing happened, I don't see bandits anywhere. Did they even spawn? I guess they didn't. Banditos. No signs of them. And the spawner is messed. Hey, yeah. Of course, max have active entities. Limited by my own flags. Bandits. They're there. Now let's trigger it. Did something happen? Nothing happened. Oh my god. Why not? I want you to follow me. Nope. One second. Of course. Sensor component. Huh. Alert trap, I have you here. Factions to ignore are gonna be taken in account in the sensor component, right? Wrong. I shouldn't do that. Should be ignored. It's in the base trap class and it takes in the faction from here. And this is being populated by the alert trap, which takes in on target detected. Actually, this is okay, because I'm just saying here that this shouldn't trigger target detected. But trigger alert, thing that happens in here, spawning command. This is taking in the values from the two smaller radius. Because this sensor component is basically the trigger itself. Now I need another one. And the one that I need is basically here. This is alert detection sensor component, and I need alert sound. The optimized way would be that I would have only one big one and I wouldn't have two of them, but for now it's okay. Alert sound sensor component. access under the unique name. And you're gonna get the area 2D of alert sound area. That's okay. Copying it, pasting it. Let's see, alert trap. Sensor component is up there somewhere. Do I have component here? Component nowhere. So this is quite unique to this spawn trap. To alert trap. So it's private. Sensor component. No. Keyboard, messing with me. There we go, copy paste. Ba 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 ba. Equals to get node. Sensor component. Copy paste. Capital case, this one. Underscore Blum. If is instance valid, alert sound sensor component, we do this. Oh, I don't need a subscription for anything here actually, because I try to get the real values from this component, alert sensor sound component. And basically what I do is I get the units, where are you? The nearby units, this one. I just change it out. I just change it out. Now let's see what's going on. Now, it would be cool if visually this would be represented like a rain of spores. You know, that the spores would rain on this area, the whole area. So you know, okay, that's what's triggering it. Not only the sound, but spores are the dangerous thing. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, come on. Yep, it fucking... Oh, sorry, it worked. It worked. It worked. Everybody came here. They had a command. Now let's trigger it again. Boom. They should have a command. They have a command. Good. So if I run away out of their vision, they go back to the spore. So after 2 seconds, they immediately get a command. Yep. That worked. I still have to tweak it up a bit, though. Okay. Ah, low on energy. Didn't stand a chance. So, one thing that's bothering me is the sound delay and the command issue delay. Huh. Yeah. If I have you in here, it means I trigger you, I detect something, I already start to play sound and I start to play the animation. Then I do this mumbo jumbo regarding the spawn. And this is the reason where I wait for 2 seconds for the commands to issue because I don't know how many units I'm gonna spawn. And what kind of delay is gonna be between units. What if I tune this down a bit? 0.25, it's not gonna be as obvious. It's gonna be smaller. Because the spawn units command actually just triggers the spawner, which usually has like a tiny fraction of units to spawn. It triggers on spawn tick, and the formula of delay between this, 1 second, so it's pre-spawn queue time. I don't need this one. Pre-spawn queue time is gonna be 0 for this. So the spawn itself, visual indicator, no. Show queue, why do I have you? No. Where are you? This is in the spawn itself. Pre-spawn queue time, no. No delay. Not gonna be used here. So that's not needed. The second thing we got is do spawn. And do spawn happens by this spawn interval. So amount plus spawn interval. That's what we gotta get in the alert trap itself for the delay time. And then plus 0, 1, something like that. Time to wait for float. Time to await equals to spawn amount times spawn amount interval, and then what we say is simply if time to await. No, actually, you know what? I gotta be careful with this one because the deferred calls are being added, so we have to wait for a while. So this is gonna be added like this, and most definitely we're gonna have 0.1 001, and this is time to wait. It's gonna be used here, and now everything should look a bit better. Okay. Click and play. So far so good. Okay. Here we go. Let's trigger it. Okay, they're coming. They came here, and they see me, they attack me. Now I trigger it again. Soon, it's on cooldown. Now it triggered, and it reacted almost immediately. That's good. So no more 2 seconds delay. See, that one still has command to go back there. And this one, boom. Yep, that's what I was going for. Now, we have a lot of things improved. One thing that I have to improve on is still the spawner. So because alert trap can alert all the nearby units that kind of were roaming around, or it could spawn units. So the spawn component could have this. And I could say spawn selection type. Now this random, round robin, random, no repeat. It's kind of a bummer because I should have the ability to spawn within a certain radius and not on an obstacle. This one is now taking in the account only the spawn positions that we have assigned. Random no repeat is otherwise a good one. So let's say we can spawn one unit. Do I have cooldown here? No, I'm gonna manually trigger it anyway there through that function, so I don't need repeat spawning. This is if I would want it to always spawn no matter what, but now I'm triggering it through the alert trap itself. But here, random no repeat. Now in spawn. Oh, this is a sausage fest. Assign spawn point. Spawn selection type. Let's say I know that I'm using an item to spawn units, so it's unit item effect something. I use this, and here I have spawn at position type around target unit in circle, around target unit on circle edge. So I could steal these, simply say around spawn in circle. So this means from radius 0 to spawn that I'm gonna specify in tiles, or around spawn on circle edge. This is only the circle edge, and this comes in handy if I want every unit that spawned only around within certain distance to be spawned. This is gonna be 50. Now spawn selection type that I have here, I have to add 2 more cases. Case this one goes here. In circle first case. Let's add a break. Copy paste this one, add a second one, and this one is on circle edge. Now let's use this logic that I have here. Copy and paste it. This is just for the circle edge, and we don't have anything that can be really referenced here, but no worries, because we have global. That's the first issue that's going away. Then we have target tile position. What is the target tile position? It's actually target unit. Okay, now we know that this target tile position is our world to grid. It has to be, of course. 1 second, I got this. Target tile position. I say global again. Level controller, blah blah blah. And we take the global position. Should I cache this global position? This would reduce the engine calls, so marshalling. I should do it. in the future for optimization, but okay, it's okay for now. So I have this. Now I need the radius. Oh shit, this is then assigning the spawn point. Oh, possibility, I can move that one as well. If I'm gonna be using around spawn and circle command, this is the scene that I set it up in the beginning. I spawn, I reuse that little child node, reposition it. Not a problem, because I'm dependent on this assigned spawn point. Again, legacy stuff being hacked into something Frankensteinish. Oh la 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 la. Now this radius, where do I have spawn points? I need this exported. Spawn selection type, export, public int, tiles. Let's set it by 1 by default, or 0 by default. I know if it's 0 I didn't tweak with it yet, then I can check radius. And no need for casting here anymore. And I could say, what is this? This is vector 2. Now, I could just say, you are gonna be the spawn position 0, but spawn position 0 is gonna have its position modified. What am I doing? This one goes here. Global position equals to this. Almost similar, but almost the same. Goes for this condition. And that's why you should use curly brackets so you don't break the scope. That's what I learned not so long ago. Or maybe both. Yep, that seems to do the trick. One of the things that got me confused when there were errors while they were in completely different cases, but yes, defining scope with brackets, it's okay. Now, this, and around circle edge, here I just have to say, get random free global, get random on circle edge. Whole solid that's different is this one. Now, current spawn point can be a bit problematic because it can be 0, huh? Yes, and that's okay. This is already what's going on here. You can't spawn anywhere else if the current child of spawn point is 0. That's okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply say that the lure trap, the spawner itself, is gonna spawn one amount of slimes within. Let me build first, see if something explodes. La 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 la. Okay, it built itself. Now I'm gonna say this one is gonna have a round spawn on circle edge, and radius and tiles is gonna be, let's say 5, just to test it out if it works. Now, I'm gonna do it and test it out. I have a spawn, marker 1. I take the first one, so it's gonna take this one. First at 0 position. Oh, what? I'm gonna remove the rest. Place it on 0. So we know now that it's coming from 0. Definitely. And I want to see if the test level now has everything correctly modified as well. Spawn component, around spawn on circle edge 5. Yes, it has been modified. Let's press start and see if I come into the alert area. Everything should be notified. I mean, the slime should be spawned and all the surrounding enemies should be notified. Alrighty, I'm going here. Yeah, the slime was spawned already. Well, that's a problem. It was spawned already. I have to fix the spawn. Everybody's coming back, that's okay. Bad guys. Huh. That something triggered the alert. Under which team did the slime spawn? 1 second. Team 2. Ah, of course. Sensor component. Here I ignore the faction somewhere. No, I don't ignore the faction. Ha 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 ha. It spawns under team 2. Bandits are team 2. I should set amount 0. I mean, because this triggers the initial spawn, right? Whew. It's just the spawn, right? Amount, team, initial delay, spawn, interval. The spawn tick happens on the timer itself. Spawn timer timeout. Do I trigger play somewhere here? I do. I start timer by what? After enter tree cost. Fuck. Salad. Spaghetti. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. Time to eat some spaghetti. This automatically triggers. But I would like to have a handle that this wouldn't trigger at all. But this is being used by this one after enter tree custom. My God, I'm using you. I am using you and abusing you. On spawn tech, stop, stop. Salad, 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 salad. This is gonna need a major refactor. Blah 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 blah. Okay guys, I think I'm gonna have to stop streaming for now. Honey Bunny's home. I want to talk with her a bit, so I'm gonna work offline a bit later when she's gonna go to work. So I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Let's see, I have 5 viewers. Wow, thanks for looking. And how many do I have on Twitch? Because I believe the favor to repay is needed for the fellow streamer that came raiding, but yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out this one other time. So thank you again for staying with me. Hope you had some fun, or maybe that I entertained you a bit at least. So have a good one.